Hey everyone, in this video we will be seeing what is Lens and why is it called IDE for Kubernetes. So let's get started. So from previous tutorials, we have seen how you can deploy your applications on Kubernetes, scale them and etc. and what all features are there that Kubernetes provides us. So let's go ahead and take a look at one of the clusters which we have created. So this is the cluster we are going to work on today and trying to see how we can use Lens to work with this cluster. Cool. So let's get started. Awesome. So I have my Lens ID here, and here I have pinned my mini cube, which works on local as we already know. And if you go to catalog, it already detects the kube config file, which is linked to my kubectl. So it sees the kube config file, and it's connected right now. So if you just put to add to hotbar, so it will get added here. And if you see like a blue dot here, that means it's live, right? And now you can actually see the nodes that are running. So if you just click on that, you can actually find all the information about the node. You can see the memory, the CPU, if it's running, the pods that are running on that node, and everything like that. Cool. Great. Then if we go ahead, we will just take a look around what all like options we are able to see. So if you go to workload overviews, 5 pods are running, one deployment is there, one replica set we have mentioned, and all the events that are going on right now that gets logged here. If we get to see pods, if you click here, you can actually see labels which you mentioned in the kubeconfig file, etc. So the kubeconfig file is here as well. So this is the kubeconfig file from the last tutorial. So if you haven't watched the last tutorial, the link will be in the description. So please take a look so you know what we are talking about here. Cool. So the replicas, etc., everything we have applied it, and we get it here, every information, all the IPs and etc. for each pod can be seen here. If you go to deployments, again, you can see the deployments here, available conditions, the pods which are connected to this deployment, etc. Demon said there is nothing, stateful replica sets. Replica sets are there. We have given like 5 desired, current is 5, ready are 5. So it keeps a track, as you mentioned. If a pod goes down, then it will reinitiate, reheal itself, right? So that's how it's worked. And jobs and crons, nothing would be there. Config map secrets, we don't have any right now. Uh, if we just go to network services, then we will be able to see the load balancer service that is going on here. The load balancer, see, you can see the IP addresses of the endpoints, then the service that is connected to our deployment here. Cool. And all the stuff, you can actually change the namespace from here if you are using specific namespace, which we will discuss when we go deep dive into Kubernetes and everything. So this is the basic overview of it. But what's the use? Why is it called IDE for Kubernetes, right? So if you just go behind down and see, there is terminal. So let's see if it works. kubectl get nodes. See, it is able to fetch the node. So we have worked in our previous tutorial on the terminal here. It exactly works the same. It exactly works the same. But the very amazing feature about it is, say suppose I have created this file, deployment files, all these files, and service files, right? Cool. I have created these files. I have applied these files as everything like a manual kind of thing. But you don't know this. You want to make your life easier as a developer, obviously. And now Lens is helping us with that. How does that happen? So if you just go on plus, you can see create resource. Just go here and you can actually select the template. How cool is that? So if you go on deployment, it will create a template, and now you can just do here, like say suppose we make devs deployment app is w, we make devs, because we already have the same label. So I would prefer not to use the same. So we make devs, again here we make devs, we make devs uh, container, and then actually we can give here there's 1.0, and the port container port is 3000 here, right? This is the deployment. And if you just create and close, see, the deployment is created. Let's go and see if the deployment is created. See, the deployment is created. We make Dev's deployment. We didn't write single line of code and still our deployment is up. We didn't learn any YAML. We don't know what YAML works, how YAML works in this case, let's say, and still we are able to create a deployment. What if we want to create a service for this? The pods are running as you mentioned, and if you want to create services whatever you want, you can just go here, take this up, see config map. If you want to create ingress, jobs, etc., role, service, if you want to create, you can create a service. So let's say, so we make dev service, uh, then we make devs TCP. Port will be what port we want it to be. Say suppose the previous port was 3000 for the service, we will give it 8080 port, and the target port would be 3000 for the container, right? And let's go and create services created. Let's go to service, right? You can like obviously see the service. We make dev service. See, this is service, right? Let's try to create a load balancer service now. So let's go ahead here, and I don't think there is a separate load balancer service template. So just here, and we make tails load balancer, or you can just put it here so we can simply utilize LB selector is we make devs again, port is 3030, let's see, and uh, target port is 8080. Instead of 3030 we can put uh, let's let it be 3030 service makes, and I think this should work, right? So awesome, the load balancer service is now created, and you can actually go ahead and run the application as you already do, right? And now just let's get rid of the services and everything which we created right now so that we can work easily. See, let's go back to our port forwarding, and we have to delete this one. We will this, okay, cool. Now we will delete that. Nice. So now that is done, and now if we go to deployment, here are 5 replicas running. Say suppose we mentioned about scaling, but we don't want 5 replicas. Now the users have increased. We will go with, say suppose 15, 10. Let's take 10. Scale. Cool. Now let's see 10. See 10 to 10 pods are running, and if we go to pods again, you can actually see 10 pods running. If you want to scale down again, the same. This is so easy. Else we will have to go inside our deployment and alter it from here. Instead of working with code, we can work with the GUI. If we want 5 over there, now the users have drastically decreased, so we will do just 3. Just close this, and then you can actually see the pods. There should be 3 pods. Cool. Now there are 3 pods. So that's how easily you can uh, work with the Kubernetes cluster as a using the lens as IDE. And you can actually, for Helm charts, we will be seeing what is Helm and what are charts, etc., in the future. But if you just go here, there is Kyber node charts. There we can actually do service control, creates role, etc., whatever you want to do. So here it minimizes your terminal and writing your code, all these things, and makes it easier. Just click and scroll, etc., and it helps you deploy and manage your applications or Kubernetes cluster through an IDE. So that's why it's called IDE, and there are many more features you can actually see in here. And actually, if you go here, Prometheus is not configured right now on my system. Else, you will be able to see a really good metrics of your cluster here, and actually you get warnings that are coming through your cluster, best practices. It tries to suggest you everything, and that's all it is to it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one.